How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my channel. This is Household Tarantulas, and today I'm going to be unboxing 5 new tarantulas I have. So let's get started. Get this box opened up. So today I will be unboxing from Fear Not Tarantulas. These guys had a pretty long journey to get here, so let's see how this goes. I have 3 enclosures already set up, and then I also have a package that was called the Journey Pack from Fear Not Tarantulas, and it's, I believe, 2 spiderlings. I believe it comes with their enclosures and maybe some other stuff. We will see here in a second. And they are, I have no idea what they are. They are completely anonymous to me. It does not say what they are. So it looks like they do have some enclosures already with some substrate and a little thing in there, a little toy. And this one looks to be a bit bigger of a enclosure. Wow, that is actually, I believe my dream tarantula was a green bottle blue, and I believe that's what this enclosure is for, and that is going to be very exciting. That is a tarantula I have been wanting since I got into the hobby, which is not very long, but it is something that I really have been wanting since I've seen it. And we do have all 5 here. So the 2 are mysteries. I have no idea what they are. I think one of us is a green bottle blue. I have no idea what the other one is. And then I do have a Darth Maul, a Carabiner versicolor, and then I also have a curly hair tarantula. So let's see who is who. And it looks like this is my curly hair. And this one is actually a red rump. And I actually already have one of these that I recently ordered also as a spiderling, which is pretty cool. So I guess that red rump is one of the 2 that I ordered as the Journey Pack. This is my Carabiner versicolor. And I believe this one is going to be my green bottle blue, which is perfect. So we can get their enclosure set up and pretty much go from there. And this is my Darth Maul. So we'll go here, and then I will make labels on my label machine as I go. Carabiner versicolor will actually go here. This one is my curly hair and my Darth Maul. This one is going to be for my red rump. And then they did add some substrate to go in there. I don't know how well the substrate works. I don't know the brand or anything, but I do have some Reptisoil that I usually use. And then I can add some other things in there as well. So they do add some substrate. They add enclosures. And they do actually provide food for them. This one's probably going to be for the red rump, and then for the green bottle blue. So debating on using this substrate that it comes with, but it doesn't look too bad. I should probably add a couple pieces of bark in there as well. So let me do that. So this stand I have everything on is kind of janky until I can get everything sorted out better. Let me move that like that. I actually have the tripod on top of a container that I use for pieces of bark and everything I put my soil in. Drill bits if needed for any enclosures that I buy. Okay. Let's set these aside. Let's get this back up here. Good still. And then I'll try to do a up close shot of everything as much as I can. So let's use the substrate that it comes with and see how that goes. These things are kind of cool. I guess I'll just throw them in there. Then I do have some water. I am actually in Arizona and everything came from the Fear Not facility, which is, I believe, in... Actually, I have no idea. I can't remember. I'm also kind of nervous. I've never done a YouTube video like this. Recently just got into the hobby and I just think it's really cool. I have 6 other tarantulas. Kind of put that in there maybe. So a couple of these I already have, except for the Darth Maul, the curly hair, and the green bottle blue. Let's see how well this works. I'm gonna do this one first because it's my favorite. Add this fake plants that it comes with. Later on, as soon as I get better enclosures for them and they get a little bit bigger, I'll just use temporary enclosures. Like if you can see, I'm using a couple like mason jars that I've got. These I've been really liking. I got them from Walmart. I have 3 other spiderlings that I have enclosures like that, and I actually really like them. They're not bad. As they get older, I will get enclosures. Definitely more pricey for them from Tarantula Cribs or any other enclosure shop. Ignore the white sheet that I just bought specifically to make this video. And then trying to pack everything down and get it away from these ventilation holes. That's kind of weird. Maybe right there. Maybe. So my other Mexican red rump, I actually lost for a couple days in my room because they are super quick and just disappear out of thin air, it seems like. Let's add some water to these. Like I said, they were on a pretty long journey to get here. So we'll see how thirsty they are, and I think I'll probably wait a couple days to feed them, just so they can get used to their enclosures a little bit more. Kind of get their house organized before I start throwing food in there with them. So let's see how big this green bottle blue actually is. Like I said, this is one of my dream tarantulas, other than my Caribbean versicolor, and I actually now have 2 of them. And then I just think this tarantula is so beautiful. Let's see where he is, and I'll just add this sphagnum moss in there in his enclosure, and there he is. I'll just throw that in there. Maybe he'll be able to use some of that. I don't really have a paintbrush at the moment, so I'm gonna use these tongs and be very gentle on bringing everything out. Last thing I want to do is startle him and him run around my living room. Let's see how this goes. I'm sure some of this he'll throw around and use in his enclosure. And there he is, already very quick. Go on, buddy. And maybe he's gonna go onto my hand instead. Yeah. What a beautiful, beautiful tarantula. I don't know how well everybody can see that. I'm trying not to. It's not the tarantulas I'm nervous about, it's actually making these videos, because I've never done this before. So I don't know how well you guys can see that. Let's get him into his home. And I believe this is a terrestrial tarantula. And I think this enclosure is going to be just fine for him. Definitely one of my favorite tarantulas. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So hopefully he is thirsty. Let me see if I can get him into his enclosure. Go on, buddy. There he goes. Let me see how well you guys can see that in there. Oh, there he goes again. Maybe he's mad. Come on, buddy, go back in. Yeah, these guys are always very quick from what I've seen. So I don't want to mess with him too much more. I'd rather him just go in his house. They're not very defensive, and they are a good beginner species, but he is not wanting to go. All right, buddy? Let me see. Let me see how I can get him. Little defensive pose. kind of just wait, maybe. I don't want to stress him out more than he already seems to be. Maybe I also don't want to. All right, dude, you gotta go. You got to go home. And there he goes. Cool. I don't know how well you guys are able to see everything, but he is home. That will need to be labeled. Let's see how well everything is going. And let's do my red rump next. These guys are very quick. I don't want to lose another one of these in my house. I actually found mine. Very, very lucky I found mine. He was actually on my ceiling. And as soon as I put a catch cup under him, after a couple days of looking for him, he fell straight into my catch cup. I don't know if he escaped from the ventilation holes on the enclosure, but I was very worried about him for a few days. So these guys basically teleport. So hopefully this one doesn't teleport on me. I can show him off. Maybe as he gets into his enclosure. And he seems to be maybe from the same batch that I ordered mine, because my other one I ordered not that long ago, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. Let's see. How well he wants to go into the new home. Hopefully he doesn't run away from me. I don't know how well. I'll try to do a close-up as much as I can. But this one seems to be about the same size as my other one, actually. Hopefully this guy doesn't not go that way. Hopefully he goes straight into the dirt. Maybe just like that. Yep, and there it goes. Right under that piece of bark. I think that's perfect. I think that's a pretty nice looking sling enclosure. Perfect for him. Good thing I'll know what most of these are gonna go in. So my Caribbean University color I could easily identify, especially in this glass container. I have ventilation holes already drilled in the lid. And again, these are all basically just temporary cheap enclosures until, you know, they get bigger. I don't want to spend a ton of money on pretty much enclosures that they're going to be in for not very long. And they seem to be pretty comfortable in these enclosures. I can see all the time that it just really doesn't matter what type of enclosure. I kind of just like them more clear. Like my first pick wouldn't have been these, just because you can't really see through them, and I'm really like to see. But yep, this is a Caribbean University color. He or she is actually a arboreal. So that's why I have this taller enclosure, because I knew that I was gonna have two arboreal tarantulas coming in. So, and then like for this stuff, I'll just kind of pack in there, and they seem to use it. And I know these guys are also very quick. Mine that I already have is actually about the same size, maybe. And no, yeah, mine's a little bigger. I swear mine teleports. Let's get him in his enclosure before he... Yeah, there he goes. I'll add a little bit more of this sphagnum moss they add in there. Maybe not that much. They seem to really use it. Whoa, buddy, where are you going? That's not the way. That is not the way. Like I said, these guys are very quick. I only know that because I have one other one. You're not going on top of this. You're going back in home. This one seems fairly skinny. Abdomen size. Maybe I can just harass him to go back home. Oh no. He wants to know where he's going. The pieces of bark and treat that I have in there that I got from outside. Oh no. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, these guys like to teleport. And he wants to go on my hand instead. Anywhere but home, I guess. We'll wait until he can go into an opening. Good thing he didn't fall from a really far height. Come on, buddy. Let's go home. All these guys just don't want to go. They have other plans. Yes, that way. Perfect. He's in there. They make some pretty cool web tunnels. So, good thing he went into his new home. Yeah, these guys make some pretty cool web tunnels. The other one I have is named Sapphire, and he has a really cool tunnel that he made. Okay, on to the next. We will do the Darth Maul. There he is, I can see him already. They don't have much coloring now. but they eventually look really cool. They have like a really dark red and on half of their body, and the other half of their body is black, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, I think I can see him right there. I don't want this guy to start running away, so let's see what I can do. To have him go straight home. I can see him a little bit. Let me see how well I can kind of get an up close. Decent size. Like I said, right now they have pretty much no coloring to them. Maybe a little bit, but he seems pretty chill where he is. Oh. There he is, right there. So, there he goes. We'll see how he likes his enclosure. And on to the last, which is my curly hair tarantula. And this was actually a freebie from Fear Not Tarantulas because my order was over a certain amount. I think it was like, after you spend $80 or $85, you get a freebie. And I saw this one and absolutely needed it. I'm hoping he's not extremely small. I pre-drilled these holes, and I hope they're not too big. They shouldn't be. Let's get a little bit of a close-up. See how well that works. See where he is. And these ones I hear are very... There he goes. He is very tiny, actually. Wow. He might have to get put into another enclosure because he is itty bitty. He seems like he wants to just hide away, so we'll let him do that. Judging from the looks, he don't look like he's too big for those ventilation holes, but he might need to get put in something more smaller as well. What I hear, these guys like to burrow as well when they're spiderlings like this. So I hope to not lose this guy before I even take the chance. I'll honestly probably switch him into another enclosure very soon and just drill new holes into another one, probably exactly like that. And then I think I might feed these guys that were added into that journey pack. This one is the Mexican red rump, and he's right there. So I think I'm gonna throw in the crickets that were added, and then see if he eats. And then probably within 24 hours or something, I'll take those crickets, uneaten crickets, out because I doubt he's gonna eat all of those. So, and then I'll also feed this green bottle blue. Maybe I shouldn't have put all those crickets in there. Maybe I should have put a couple into my other enclosures. But this is my green bottle blue. Again, I had no idea that I was actually buying these ones. They were in the journey pack, and in the journey pack it just simply says 2 spiderlings, and then it will come with their enclosures and the substrate, and then the pieces of bark and stuff I added as extra, you know, just so that, well, these guys are ready to go. I don't want to let crickets in my house, so we'll see which ones he eats, doesn't eat. I'll check on him tomorrow afternoon and see which ones he did not eat or not finish, and I'll take them out. But other than that, that is it. They all have water, and I will feed the rest of them in a couple days, if not maybe tomorrow. So if you guys like the video, like and subscribe if you like. That's pretty much I have all for today. Later on during the future, I will upgrade these guys' enclosures and show you some other spiderlings and stuff I have. And I do have a female and a adult female and the adult male Arizona blonde tarantulas. I will be showing them off. My male is the one I am able to handle the most. I try not to, maybe every once in a while, really, but they are really cool to bring out. So I'll be making videos on them and their enclosures and pretty much everything else I have. So awesome. Well, like I said, if you guys like the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.